Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Today's page pull is coming from this book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's such a beautiful story about a young man named Santiago. The author is also super fascinating to me. I'm drawn to this book for a few reasons today. One, I love The Alchemist. I love alchemy. I love that concept of transformation and magic, taking what's existing already in some form and making something completely new and just like different, more aligned, more empowering and magical than already is. I also love the author's story, his life story, which is, he was actually put in a mental institute when he was younger by his parents. And he looks back and says that he knows it was out of love, that they wanted to help him and not hurt him. But he did try to run away and escape from that place 3 times. He did not want to be there at all. He ended up going to law school because his parents wanted him to, but that wasn't his dream. That wasn't his, most aligned goal. And he ended up dropping out of law school because he really wanted to have a career as a writer. He wanted to be a full-time writer, and that was his dream. So he decided to walk the Santiago in Spain, and he had a spiritual awakening. And when he came back, he wrote a book. And he asked the universe, if I'm supposed to write another book, if I'm supposed to write a new book, I want to see a white feather. And that day he saw a white feather in the window, and he went home and he started writing The Alchemist, which I just think is so cool. So I'm just drawn to this book for a lot of reasons today, working with the universe. Sometimes we ask the universe for signs. Sometimes we give the universe signs that we'd like to see. I love the idea of magic and transformation, and just kind of following your own most aligned path. I think that's really hard to do. It's admirable. And I feel like if you're listening to this today, that's kind of part of the message. This idea of what happens if, what happens if you kind of follow that dream, follow that big goal. You're having a spiritual awakening. What do you do now? What's the actual next thing that's going to be kind of something that you're drawn to, that you kind of want to pursue? So let's see what page I get today, and we can kind of see what the message is. Okay, today's page says, well then, why should I listen to my heart? Because you will never again be able to keep it quiet. Even if you pretend not to have heard what it tells you, it will always be there inside you, repeating to you what you're thinking about life and about the world. Oh, this is so good. So this is from page 133. And I love this so much for so many reasons, but it's not easy to do what this quote is kind of suggesting for us today. And I want to honor that and respect that, because I know a lot of us kind of oftentimes feel stuck or are working out of, in kind of misalignment. Not all the way, but there are just parts of our life that maybe we would change if we could. This quote is suggesting you can. This quote is suggesting that you can choose to ignore your heart. However, why should I listen to it? Because you will never again be able to keep it quiet. So I think that's our task today, is to kind of sit with that idea of what is our heart actually saying? We all have that inner knowing. So no big decisions necessarily per se, but I have been feeling that something's coming. I have been feeling there is this transition and transformation just on the horizon. And this is interesting because you will never again be able to keep it quiet. Even if you pretend not to have heard what it tells you, it will always be there inside of you, repeating what you're thinking about life and the world. So it's almost like you have this obligation to pursue the heartstrings and the pull and the dream and going in the direction that internally you're kind of meant to go in. So I would say sit with that today and think about what that means for you, how comfortable you are with that concept, and the idea of it's going to repeat what you're thinking about life and the world, even if you pretend not to hear it. That was 444, by the way. I think the message today is to sit with what you're considering right now. And, I want to say, don't be afraid to just take that leap and dream big. I think Paulo Coelho would also say that to you. Maybe include the universe in your decision-making practice. You know, think about what he did, asking for a sign. How you feel about that? You know, does that sit well with you? Is that something that you would also like to do? Why should I listen to my heart? Because you will never again be able to keep it quiet. So that's the message today from The Alchemist, and I hope you have a beautiful day.